Solana, the story of resurrection. A Ukrainian engineer wanted to outpace time. A billionaire wanted to steal $8 billion, and technology just tried to survive. This is not a joke. This is the story of Solana. The beginning, an idea born from coffee and beer. In 2017, Anatoly Yakovenko, who had worked 13 years at Qualcomm, an engineer with experience in distributed systems, noticed a fundamental problem. Blockchains are slow. Bitcoin processes 7 transactions per second, Ethereum 1520, and Visa 65,000. The difference isn't in computing power, but in the architecture of consensus itself. In mobile networks, where Yakovenko worked, time is everything. Each device gets its own time slot to avoid conflicts. Blockchains worked differently. Nodes have to constantly negotiate the order of transactions. It's like a queue on the radio, where everyone waits for their turn. Slow, inefficient. One night, after 2 cups of coffee and a beer, Yakovenko realized something. What if you don't make nodes negotiate about time? What if you embed time directly into the blockchain? He called it proof of history. The idea was built on cryptographic clocks inside the chain itself. Each transaction receives an irrefutable timestamp that anyone can instantly verify. Nodes no longer need to endlessly negotiate. Consensus is reached many times faster. The result, Solana reached 65,000 transactions per second at a cost of fractions of a cent. In 2020, the network launched, and the crypto community split. Some shouted about the death of Ethereum and saw the future of finance. Others skeptically shook their heads, arguing this wasn't a real blockchain, just a fast database with a token. Both were partly right, but in 2020, no one cared. The rise, a deal with the devil. In January 2021, Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of the FTX cryptocurrency exchange, tweeted, "I'll buy all Solana coins for $3. Sell me everything." Rude? Yes. But that's exactly how SBF spoke. A 29-year-old wunderkind from a family of Stanford professors, an MIT graduate, a man who built a $32 billion empire in just a few years. A year later, SOL was worth 260, a 90x gain in 10 months. People who didn't sell at $3 became millionaires. But SBF wasn't just buying tokens. He was becoming the architect of the entire ecosystem. His trading firm Alameda Research bought 10–15% of all coins, a tenth of total supply. He launched Serum, a decentralized exchange on Solana, around which grew an entire universe. Decentralized exchanges, NFT marketplaces, games, applications. The crypto community called them Sam coins. One person simultaneously owned huge amounts of tokens, built key infrastructure for the ecosystem, and actively promoted the project through the world's largest exchange. This wasn't an investor. This was an architect, a puppet master. And the puppet danced. Solana's market cap reached $74 billion. The project entered the top 5 cryptocurrencies. The relationship was parasitic, though no one wanted to see it. Solana soared thanks to the money, influence, and hype of one person. And when that person turned out to be the biggest fraudster in cryptocurrency history, the technology collapsed with him. The crash, 96% in weeks. November 2, 2022, journalists discovered internal documents from Alameda. The company's balance consisted mostly of FTT tokens, cryptocurrency created by SBF himself. It was currency printed in his own basement. A bank backed by its own IOUs. A classic pyramid scheme. November 6th, the head of Binance announced the sale of all FTX tokens. It was a signal that one of the market's biggest players didn't trust SBF. Panic began. In 72 hours, $8 billion in customer money disappeared. FTX declared bankruptcy. SBF was arrested in December on charges of fraud, money laundering, and violating campaign finance laws. Maximum sentence, 25 years. Solana crashed from $37 to $8, a 96% drop. Market cap evaporated $40 billion not over a year, not over a month, but in weeks. Serum, SBF's flagship exchange, turned to ruins. Developers massively left for Ethereum and Polygon. The crypto community created a meme. Solana is a database you can reboot through Discord. Everyone thought the project was dead, and the logic made sense. Resurrection. People kept writing code. But some didn't give up. While the world buried Solana, while analysts wrote obituaries, while traders panicked, engineers fixed bugs, improved the protocol, prepared the Firedancer update, an alternative client for validators. They worked in silence, without hype, without venture capital. December 2022, a meme coin called Bonk appeared in the ecosystem. No practical use, just a symbol. We're still here, we're not giving up, and we're having fun despite everything. It reminded people the ecosystem was alive, that it had a community, that it could create something new, even from ruins. Spring 2023. The price stabilized. Developers began returning. September 2023. Visa announced a partnership with Solana to process payments. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum. A project that was buried a year ago. Visa chose Solana for speed, 400 microseconds, and cost, fractions of a cent. 2024, the network became more stable. If there were 5 to 6 major outages per year in 2021-2022, all of 2024 passed with virtually no incidents. The ecosystem grew. The value of assets locked in protocols increased 4 times. Memecoins, speculative applications, NFT marketplaces, all of this generated transactions, fees, activity. January 2025, Solana reached a new all-time high, almost $300 per token, higher than the peak of the 2021 hype. Those who bought at the bottom for $8 made 40x returns on their investment. The resurrection had happened. The scars of victory. But the story doesn't end there. Behind the beautiful charts are questions that remain unanswered. Centralization. To run a Solana validator, you need expensive professional equipment. There are hundreds of validators on Ethereum, hundreds of thousands. A difference of 3 orders of magnitude. This reduces true decentralization. Reputation. The association with SBF and FTX hasn't gone away. This will have an impact for years to come. Technical risks. December 2024. Solana suffered a DDoS attack of 6 terabits per second, one of the largest attacks in internet history. The network survived, but there are no guarantees. Dependence on hype. Meme coins are the main driver of activity and transactions. When interest fades, will fundamental value remain? The main lesson. Solana is a mirror of the crypto world. It reflects everything: innovation and fraud, genius and greed, triumph and catastrophe, hope and speculation. Technology can be brilliant, but it won't protect you from a 96% crash. It's not the smartest who survive, but those ready for the worst, who don't invest more than they can afford to lose, and who understand. Tomorrow, everything could go to zero. Solana has risen again. But this isn't a happy ending. It's just another chapter in a game where the rules are written in blood and code, where geniuses are indistinguishable from fraudsters, where you can become a millionaire in a year and a pauper in a week.